Okay, here is Overload, and he is heading out to the field for the second time. He's going to pop around over some more of the logs and pipes and things, and I'm so happy with Overload. I feel like he's had a couple of light bulbs go off really just in the last day or two. I think the last video we took of him was one day last week in the field. It was the same day we did Wiz, and Wiz really stole the show because he was so amazing. And Overload was very good. But he was just sort of your average horse jumping their log for the first time. He just wasn't sure what to do with his feet, and he still wasn't totally straight or totally soft. So he was being a very good boy, but just still had some miles to go. And of course, we always have miles to go, but just in terms of what really helps them to stand out, especially as they are starting to learn to jump. So I've ridden him a bunch in between that ride and this ride. It's just that, we can't always take video of every horse every day. So anyway, he came back out to the field today, and the first big light bulb with him is I just feel like I finally am starting to get some softness in his jaw and access to his top line. So he's really starting to make a beautiful shape. And as he softens up and lets me get into his top line a little bit, I mean, you can really tell what a lovely mover this horse is. He has just a beautiful way of covering the ground. So actually, it's sort of funny. I'm full circle with him. I've tried a bunch of different bits, and I'm back in the bit that I rode him for, I think, in his first ride. We're just in a plain old full cheek snaffle with a peanut, no flash or anything, just a plain noseband, and he is very happy in this getup. So just very basic, and I'm not wearing spurs or anything, and he's very pleasant and happy in this very simple tax situation. So that is wonderful. So it's not like Overload was ever against the bit. Here we go. These are some really nice steps and some good softening. He has no aversion to the contact at all. He's just sort of what I refer to it as contact neutral. He doesn't mind it, but he also just had no clue what it meant. And every horse is a little bit just on their own path of how long it takes for them to understand this whole concept of connection and softening their jaw. And so for him, actually, it took a little bit longer than I would have thought just because he's such a beautiful mover and his neck is set on really nice. But hey, you never know what happened in his previous riding or whatever. It just takes them as long as it takes them to connect the dots. But he is certainly now connecting them. This is actually really nice right here. And so he's just figuring out this whole softness thing now, which is wonderful. And I find that once they have this, they have it. It's not like they get it and then they lose it. Once they understand this whole connection thing, they tend to keep rolling with it very rapidly. So this here is lovely. I'm really happy with this. Such a good boy. And then as he finds that softness, you can really just see what a beautiful way he has of traveling and covering the ground. And I also really like his rhythm here. He's forward, he's certainly in front of the leg, but in a relaxed way. One thing I've really been working on with him, when I say I'm working on the softness with him, really the softness comes from just getting him sort of straight in between my legs and not wiggling out one shoulder or another. So I've really been working on this stretch here where we're not relying on a fence, we're just kind of out in the open, just really calls you out. Is the horse straight between your legs, or are they, falling towards the fence or leaning on one shoulder or another? And as soon as I have him straight between my legs, honestly straight, everything just sort of clicks into place. Yeah, this is really good here. Super, super proud of him. He was getting lots of good boys as we were doing this. Yeah, and this is lovely. So then we just took a little walk break. That was a really nice warm up. I was feeling excellent about him. I mean, that in itself, just sort of figuring out that connection was plenty for the day. But it didn't take him very long. We'd only been riding for a couple of minutes, and I really wanted to have a second go at logs and things. The first time that he saw this stuff, he was wicked honest and happy to do it, but just as you would expect, no clue what to do with his legs. He almost was sort of like falling over the logs more than he was actually jumping the logs. But today, he really came out swinging. I think that because he was so much better in his flat work, he was just able to use his body so much better to jumps. Of course, here are the first two logs we did. They were still awkward. No problem. He gets better, I promise. Keep watching. Unfortunately, I lost Billy because that what you just saw was our grain delivery coming in, so I don't have any pictures of him jumping, which is annoying because he really jumped a couple of things super well. But oh well. Yeah, he really sort of figured out the form today over jumping, and he likes it. I mean, he's just like seems so happy to be doing it. He's super straight. There's no arguing about, left, right, none of that. He just once you point him at where he's going, he's like remarkably honest and straight for such a green horse. Jumped that actually really quite cute. Landed on the correct lead. I'm trying really hard to remember to actually land going somewhere, land with the plan. Don't just be like, oh, I'm so glad we jumped the jump and then have nowhere to go. I'm really trying hard with these green guys, even though you have so much time in between the jumps, to really land planning on turning one way or another. That helps them so much to ride with flow and balance and to start learning which is the correct lead to land on, because they figure out real quick when you're landing and turning in a particular direction that their life is so much easier when they figure out landing on the correct lead. And of course, at this stage, you're batting maybe 40% success rate, but this is just how we start. This trot work here is so good. So up until this point, I think he's just still, the footwork is much better. He's understanding, how to place his legs when he's jumping. He's jumping slightly inverted. I think he's at the place where, yeah, right here. That was a good light bulb jump for him. Something just clicked for whatever reason over that pipe, and he sort of figured out keeping the shape with his top line a little bit better as he jumped, and it keeps getting better here as we go. Oh, especially to this one, I think, if I'm remembering. We do our little brown house. Yeah, he jumped that super, super cute. That one, he really was like, he felt like he was like, wee, he just sort of sprung up, made a really cute effort and jump. And that was excellent. So now we're going to the little black pipe down the hill. Sometimes it's hard to tell in the video, what's up and downhill, but this is jumping down the hill. And actually, I thought he was super smart about that. That was very good. He's doing a good job now of keeping his shape. Good boy. So my mom is videoing, and my mom's not a horse person, even though I would say now she's learning to be one. And she said at the end that it just looked like he liked it so much, and I would have to agree. And that was also really good because he stayed super straight down that line, and we even cantered that last log. And at this point, this is only the second time he's ever seen logs. I'm not at the point where I feel like he has to start cantering things. He's just starting to understand the footwork in the trot, so I'm happy to keep trotting everything. Oh, you have to watch how cute he jumps this bigger pipe. That was so good. I wish I had a picture of that. if you freeze it and really look, he gets his knees up so nice and even, so nice and square. And then he jumps this big pipe really nice too. So good. And then he lands on his right lead. What a good boy. But anyway, he was just in a great balance and happy to canter on down to that log. So I'll certainly take the opportunity wherever it presents itself. And that was a really good confidence building log that he cantered. He hit it just right. It was great. So here's his grand finale. He's going to do the coup. So good. So proud of this guy.